Give thanks every time. In my last video, I showed you self-driving money, apps built to act on your cash without asking you first. Today is the opposite move, because here's the post I keep seeing in beginner investing threads. Somebody has money saved specifically for investing. It has been sitting in savings for months, sometimes years. And every single week there's a reason. Maybe a dip is coming, maybe after the next big report, maybe once they finally finish picking the fund. The market keeps moving, the cash keeps waiting, and the waiting keeps feeling like strategy. So I built a free tool, 5 questions, about 2 minutes, that names what your cash is actually waiting for. Because it turns out waiting isn't one thing, it's 4 different things, and they all end differently. One of them ends with the tool telling you to stay out of the market, and I'll show you. So here's the trap. Waiting always feels like prudence. Nobody thinks of themselves as frozen. They think of themselves as careful. So sometimes waiting can be good. Definitely, nobody knows in the market what it's going to do, but waiting should not be the only thing. And I've been there before too. I keep waiting and waiting and waiting. But part of that waiting is kind of just being frozen, being stuck, and just not wanting to make the decision, feeling that if I wait longer, I'll make a better decision. But you got to just be aware of that. Awareness is key. So then you can notice what a dip actually offers, not a knowledge edge. Proof you didn't buy at the worst moment. That's really what it's like all about, is like not feeling like I got burned, like not feeling like I could have bought in for lower. And then, at the end of the day, one of the top rules is like never try to like time the top or the bottom, just try to get in near the top of the bottom if that's really what you're doing. And as long as you can say that you bought when the price was near a low and sold when the price was near a high, I mean, you're doing the right thing. Even if you're not buying or selling like your whole portfolio, even if you're just buying a little bit near the bottom and taking a little bit of profits near the top, that is winning in this game. And that doesn't even mean trading. That can just be like long-term investing. And over time, you start to become more aware of tops and bottoms, and then you start to realize when it's time to take action, because you've taken action and you've learned from your mistakes. But if you never take action, then you can't learn. So the quiet cost. After enough months, waiting stops being a choice you're making and becomes the decision made by default. Nobody signs off on it. It just keeps happening. So here's the tool. This tool that I created, the tool never asks where the market is. Not one question. It's not about that. So many people think that's what it's about, but I really think it's deeper. Read between the lines. Everything it asks is about you. How long the money's been waiting, when you actually need it, what would honestly move it. That's the point. What your cash is waiting for is information about you, not prices. And it's the only variable in this whole topic you can actually settle. So this isn't advice. It's a rule you write yourself in the calm, same pattern as the market drop plan from before. That's another tool on here on Stackivate. So 2 people can leave with opposite rules and both can be right, is what I'm saying. Everyone has their own style. Nobody's the same in life. If everybody in the world were the same, it would be a very boring and very dysfunctional world, I believe. So that's good that, there's so much diversity and everybody has a different way that works best for them for doing things. And that definitely applies to investing as well. So why did I build this? This is something that I've seen, and there's a specific post that I saw this week on Reddit. And someone was talking about they had a friend who told them to wait for the dip. And another person was asking whether to buy back or keep waiting. So these seem to be like the same theme. A first timer with the money ready and the account still not open. And I'm seeing this every week pretty much. The research is done, the money is ready, but nothing is moving. The missing piece stopped being information a long time ago. They just don't see it like that. All right, so now I'm going to show you some of this tool. And here is the demo run. Here is a run that basically would be the same run according to what I'm seeing, according to the common trend that I'm seeing that people are saying and the common problems. So this is not how I would answer it, but basically, should you be waiting for a dip? Find out what your cash is actually waiting for. So most people are like, I've had this money, just now or a few months, say like 50-50, people just like came into money. Some people have just been kind of like saving up and now they're feeling like they're kind of getting ready to like make a move with investing and they want to get into investing. They just don't know how. Okay, so years until you expect to actually need this money, I would say most people is about 20 to 40. What would actually make you move it? People seeing a real dip, right? Like buying after a drop just feels safer. And most people are waiting for like all out crash and like they don't even, you know what they would even consider a crash. I think it's just like waiting for the newspapers to say the stock market is crashing, and that doesn't always necessarily mean it's a crash. But anyways, if the market dropped 20% the week after you got in, what would that mean about the decision? And usually people think, it was a mistake. They should have waited to like, catch that extra 20%. They don't understand investing, hindsight. The rule you put your name on decided now in the calm. Start a schedule, same amount, same day each month, regardless of price. That's basically dollar cost averaging. Okay, so in this case, the person's waiting for permission and prices don't issue it. A dip feels safer because it comes with proof. They just want permission and proof, but the market is never going to grant that. The price that finally feels safe is also the one that proves the crowd already agrees with you. So, I'm going to run through how I would answer this real quick. How long have I had money in waiting? I would have to say, I'm still steadily buying, but I also have cash I'm holding on to, especially for crypto right now, because I feel like that price could easily go lower. So a year or more, honestly, years until you expect to actually need the money, I would have to say 10 to 20. What would actually make you move it? A real dip. Nope, knowing the market won't drop right after I get in. I know that's not any guarantee. Finishing a concrete step, picking the account or fund. I would have to say a real dip. I mean, it's already had a lot of a dip, but I feel like it can do more. I feel like there's still usually a big bottom, and I'm just saving a little bit for that. If the market dropped 20% the week after you got in, what would that mean about the decision? Nothing. The plan is sound. Like, as long as I got in a dip, if it dipped lower than it is right now and I get in and it still goes down another 20, I'm good with it because I know that's how markets work. Like, and if it did go down another 20, I'd still probably like have some save for that. So the rule you put your name on, start on a schedule, I do that plus save a little bit depending on what's going on with market cycles and different markets. So with me, it more like depends, but with beginners, they're still figuring this stuff out. And I would have to say, something like that. So now that's change this to 2 years, and then that makes sense. So okay, so with this specific cycle, then that makes way more sense. The money might be parked correctly, but that's two different answers. So that's basically running through it. You can check this out and run through it on your own, answering your own questions and get your own advice that's specific to you. And then you know what to do. Go and check out some more features on the site. They're all right. It's going to help you get to be a better investor. Develop your own style. You don't want the AI making decisions for you about your money. You can do much better. Doesn't take much to learn. So here we go. So what this all revealed, 4 different verdicts, 1 honest tool. Permission, missing information, a finish line, or is the money correctly parked? Naming which one you're in is the whole unlock, because each one ends differently and only one ends with more research. 2 people, 2 rules that can both be right. A monthly schedule and a deliberate stay parked are both wins if they're authored instead of inherited. So you want to mirror what's working. It's going to reflect a read on why a decision is waiting and a rule you wrote yourself. This is not advice, it's not a recommendation to invest, and it's not a statement about what markets will do. So the industry's answer to hesitation is self-driving money. If you take away the human and the deciding happens without you, if a machine makes every decision, how do you ever learn? How do you get better? And when it's wrong, it's not the one who pays. AI is not held accountable for making bad decisions with your money. You are. The goal is never to outsource the decision. It's to become an investor who knows their own style and improves over time. This tool is that idea in its smallest form. Nothing moves until you write the rule. Check it out free at stackivate.com. It's in the tools section. It's the getting in plan. No sign up is required for this. And if the permission verdict hit home, the archetype quiz is the best next step. So I want to know, what is your parked money actually waiting for? A price, certainty, a finish line, or is it parked on purpose? Let me know below. Check out the comments, stay in the flow, and telling you what I know as we learn what happens to money when AI takes over. And it's happening quick. So stay tuned. And you've always got the free tools here. So you can steer clear of any bank that just wants you to let AI do whatever it does with your money without knowing. I mean, there's a better way. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's it for today.